Hello, welcome back to the Roundtable YouTube channel. I've had a few requests recently regarding websites, ways to host links and collect sales, etc. So I want to jump on here and tell you guys that you don't need a full-blown website. I know it sounds controversial, but when there are free tools out there like Beacons, Linktree, Bitly, etc., I think these are really great replacements for full-blown websites, especially for smaller organizations like Roundtable that are only running one or two events a year. Um, because they are really easy to set up, and they can also be edited without any specialist skills or knowledge. They essentially hold a bunch of links and buttons that can range from things like Facebook and Instagram accounts to hosting MP3 players. You can even put YouTube videos on there, and you can, of course, host your links to ticket platforms, especially ones like Ticket Tailor, for instance. So what I'm going to do in this video is go through setting up a Beacons AI site. I'm going to use the national page as a bit of a demo, let you guys follow along, give you a bit of a preview, and show you one of the better link in bio sites on the market today. So for those of you that don't know what I mean by a link in bio site, here is a little preview of the Beacons site that I've just set up. You can see you've got a little video here in the background. We've got all the links here to the website, of course, the podcast. We've got here an image, which is actually also a link. And we've also got a contact form in here as well. So yeah, if we go to beacons.ai, we'll get the process started. Once you've navigated to beacons.ai, just click sign up in the top corner here, and it's going to ask you to enter a URL. The RTGBI is the one that we use consistently on all the other platforms, so just going to stick with that, of course. It'll ask you to sign in. I recommend that if you're using your @roundtable.org email addresses that you sign in with the Google option. It saves you having to remember another passwords. Here it's going to ask you for links to your social pages. Now, I wouldn't stress too much if you don't have these to hand. You can fill them in later, but fill in all the ones you know. Of course, if your username is consistent, it makes things easier. You can actually edit your username on Instagram and Facebook now. So if you want to know how to do that, just give me a shout and I will show you how. So it's dragged up the profile photo from our YouTube account, I think. So that's quite handy. And obviously you can upload your own here now as well. So here on this page, it wants to get to understand you a little bit. So Beacons is heavily driven by AI. So it will scrape your content, learn more about you. These can be a really good tests to see whether your content is actually telling the story you think it is. So I'm glad there's a couple of good suggestions in here. It's maybe not perfect, but you can add in your own here as well. So if I just type in social, for instance, yeah, we'll just throw that into the mix. But you can put in and customize that yourself. You've got some layout options here. Now, don't stress too much about choosing which one, as we can change these later. So pump in your table name here. You can see it's starting to give you a little live preview at the top of the screen there. You can upload a separate logo here, which will be different from your profile image, although that's not essential. Once you're happy with that, here comes the hard sell, of course. You can skip the screen, so ignore it unless you really think some of these benefits are worth it. Saying that, the mailing module, I do go into in a bit more depth at the end of the video, but you don't need to pay for it at the minute. You can skip that for now. This next screen, again, you can opt out of, but if you do have a monetized page, which is something that Facebook is offering some smaller profiles these days, I'd recommend just pressing yes. There's no harm in being signed into this at the minute. So Beacons is set up mainly as a page for creators to advertise and market and sell their digital content. So you get a media kit as standard here, which is not of great interest to us at the minute, but you might see some potential in it. So those of you with a keen eye have seen that we haven't added Facebook onto here yet. So I'll show you how you can add links. If we go to the nav menu on the left here, we click link in bio website, link in bio design here. It loads up this page. And then we're going to go to the header section, and we're going to add the Facebook link in here. These header links appear as the little icons just under the table, the page name. So just copy the URL from Facebook and then Control V, paste it in here. Use this little search function here. Make sure you've got all of the accounts that you have saved. So National Page has a LinkedIn account, of course. So we'll add that. Once you have all your icons on display, you can scroll down and see all the design and appearance settings. So when you have all your social links that you're happy with, you can scroll down and take a look at the overall design, change the size of the icons that we were just adding, change the orientation of the profile image and title, the color palette here. So these background options are really cool. Beacons has this library of videos that you can use as backgrounds, which is something that elevates this platform above static link pages. If I preview now the LinkedIn for RTBI, you can see how in comparison the Beacons page, the second one is a lot more appealing, and we haven't even got into the good stuff yet. So once you've picked your video and it opens up to the page to give you a preview as well, as you just saw. Continuing down through the settings, you can tinker with nearly every aspect of the page, but as you can see, in less than 5 minutes, we've already got a functioning and half decent looking page. But we're not going to get complacent. There's still loads to explore. At the bottom of the page is another feature that I think makes this my go-to platform, and in some ways makes this a bit of a website killer, and that's the sign-up form. It's another feature that you don't see on any of the free pages. So to edit this, we need to go back to the nav screen, link in bio on the left here, and then we want to edit the main bulk of the page. So this is where all our blocks are stored. You'll see as standard a sign-up form is added. I'm going to quickly add in some fields here. I consider adding an age field. It helps you filter out potential inquiries for table prospects. You can edit your submission message here, include details of how you'll follow up on their messages. So here's a little preview. You notice the page has morphed a little bit because I'm an amateur content creator and I've decided to rearrange the order I'm doing things. But yeah, I'm going to go into the email settings in a bit more depth at the end of the video. So bear with me and I'll go over where we handle responses and send emails, etc. So if we go back to the main link in bio page, and you'll see that this first block is called links. And this is where we're going to direct people to sort of external content. So these are quite cool, and I'll demonstrate with a Spotify link. I'll dump in this link to the episode 3. Shout out to the Elgin guys from that episode. There's a link to the podcast on the screen if you wanted to listen to that. You'll see that it loads up details from the episode along with the artwork and also the full description, which I'm actually just going to delete for now and keep it in line with the other links on there. You can, of course, change the image and uploaded one if you wanted to, or you can choose a logo and that will match in with the theme. At the bottom of each link are some additional settings. You can animate the button, make it bounce around, draw your attention to it when the page loads. This is a schedule, so this would be really helpful for seasonal stuff, especially like Santa sleigh, fireworks. Maybe you only want it to appear in October, November, December. This third setting is a countdown timer, so you can add a bit of drama to an announcement. Good again for seasonal content, helps create a little bit of a buzz for a release date. Using these schedules means that your links will still be displayed on the page, so people searching for you on Google, etc., will still be able to find you. So it's good practice from an SEO perspective. The arrow looking one on here is a pro feature, which is link redirection. And then on the right here, we've got your analytics. You see who's clicked on the page, and this toggle switch just manually hides the link. So if you have things like YouTube videos, or you want some images that you wanted to feature on your page, you want to play with what's called blocks. So Beacon recognizes that this Spotify link has a block option. So if I click here, it'll open a more basic looking settings page. However, on the preview window, you'll see it's loaded a much better looking media player, and that's got the podcast theme already baked into it. So there is a simpler way to add blocks. If we navigate back, you've got this add block button. So as you're fully aware, we have a YouTube channel. So I'll just use a link from one of our recruitment videos, and I'll link that on the screen now as well if you wanted to use it yourself. So then in the settings, you can change the layout and the design. But now you've got a video that's going to play on your page. Using blocks, we can also upload images. So I'll add this image block now, and I'll upload a copy of the workshop schedule, for instance. You could use a Canva template of your program, of course. It has a title that you can edit, and a description, of course. But the bit that's really handy is being able to add a hyperlink. So if I just add the workshop blog link here, this could also link to an event on Facebook, for instance, or you could use it to link to your Ticket Tailor box office. If I just preview it now, a picture tells 1,000 words, they say. So using the images means that you can direct people to events in a bit more colourful way. Honestly, I don't know any developers that could set you up a website that looks this good in 10 minutes and do it for free. So now you've got your great looking website, you'll want to share it. So this little icon here gives you a whole list of links. It does have an integration in the back end that you can directly add the link into Instagram, but simple way is to just copy it here, go to your Instagram bio and update the link there. Although that is something you do need to do on your mobile device, you can't do it on desktop. So since recording this, I have tweaked the RTBI one, so it looks like this. So yeah, I mean, if you don't have a website and you're considering paying for one, perhaps give this a go first and then see whether you actually want to pay out for a custom site, as I think this will do the job for most roundtables and even a lot of small businesses as well. As we scroll down, we get to the inquiry form at the bottom here, which reminds me, I promised you to go over the mailing settings with you. So going back to the dashboard, I'll navigate to marketing. This is where all our responses to the inquiry form mailing lists are all saved, additional settings for the sign up form, etc. But we need to make sure that the form is configured properly first. So if we hop back into the link in bio page and we'll click at the sign up form block at the bottom here. When it's open, we'll click on the settings tab. So we skipped this bit earlier, but here is where you edit the form title and you can give it a brief description. Include here some statements and keywords that make sure you turn up in search results. And of course you want to be notified if someone fills it in, so just click this toggle here. So another tab here is responses. This is a shortcut, an overview of who has filled in the form. If you already use MailChimp, for instance, you can link this form as a sign-up sheet to your audience on MailChimp. But the simplest way is to just handle it from here, because Beacons has very good built-in automations set up, which is what we'll look at now. So this third tab has a link to setting up automations. If we create a new one, as you can see, a host of basic templates to get you started. If I show you this sales option, for instance, you'll see it's pre-populated with some text already. It has these clever tags that pulls the information through from the form, so the emails are personalized. And if you scroll down the left here, there are a couple of different layout choices within this template as well. So if we just tab back, feel free to explore all of them and just find the one that works for you. We're going to start with the more basic one, this download one here. We get a little pop-up giving you some advice and best practices. And then it takes you to the automation screen. You'll see it's kind of like a flow chart. So once someone fills in the form, you can choose how quickly they get the follow-up email. So you can put a bit of a delay on here if you want to. And then you start working your way down the page and filling in the boxes as you go. You've got email subject here. Make sure that that's relevant to why it is that you're asking people to sign up, be it membership query, a box of inquiry, or a funding request, etc. And then we edit the main body of the email. I'll just speed this up. Though if you want a good example, if you just fill out the form in the Beacons link in the description, you'll be sent a copy of it. At the footer, it pulls through all the social links that you've already set up. But of course, you can edit which ones appear here. And then at the top is an option to send a tester so you can see how it actually looks on your devices. And I'll include a little preview on the screen here. So once you're happy, save it all. It reminds you to fill in any blanks. So press the activate automation when you're done, and then it will take you to this marketing dashboard. From here, you can edit all the existing automations, review submissions, and make general changes and edits. So I'll just end with a final preview of the Beacons page I've got set up here. So in the header, you can see we've got icon linking to all of our different social platforms, an inbuilt YouTube video. We, of course, do have a website, so I've got links here to some of the more popular pages on there. This is a link to an external website, which is the Movember campaign. Of course, our podcast. This image is a link that takes you to workshop sign-up forms, and finally your sign-up form for general inquiries. So hopefully that's given you a decent overview of the power of these websites, and perhaps you're already questioning whether you need a full-blown website. If you have any questions about any of what I've gone over, you want to maybe a bit of a trial, you want to look at behind the scenes, etc., then please get in touch, leave us a comment, email media@roundtable.org.uk. My number's in all of the WhatsApp community groups, of course, as well. So yeah, see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.